All right, you're watching the Sports Roundup Show. This is our NFL segment. Mike Nelson and Cody Parks. We're talking about, of course, the Super Bowl just passed up this week. Tampa Bay Buccaneers defeated the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a blowout, right? It wasn't a close game at all. But we're gonna get into this game. Pretty lot of big storylines after this game, right? Tom Brady winning another Super Bowl, 43, and Patrick Mahomes really coming up short. Maybe he wasn't 100%. I know there was some talk about an injury, but what are your thoughts on last week's game, Cody?
Mike, so like you said, it was a blowout. I'm not gonna lie, it did start to get like a boring game. But it's just some stuff we can find in there to talk about. Let's start off with where you finish at with the Patrick Mahomes. I will say this. Even though the Buccaneers won, give them credit or whatnot. I know we're gonna talk about this other thing that happened during the game coming up, but talk about Patrick Mahomes. I was for his injury. It does seem like that did hamper him a little bit, in my opinion. Um, he was getting away a little bit, like his normal elusiveness that he normally does, but it wasn't the normal Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, as far as the speed of when he has a ball in his hand, dropping back, creating and whatnot. So it did look a little different. I know they said that he might have to have a surgery on his toe during this off season. So I will say that, like I said, give credit to the Bucks. Todd Bowles, defensive coordinator of the Buccaneers. People are saying that he should have got some head coaching looks. He did get a couple interviews, but should have gotten more. And he did have a good game plan. But I will say Patrick Mahomes did look a little different out there.
Yeah, he just didn't seem the same. He didn't have much mobility out there. It seemed like probably was injured. And I just think also, the offensive line for the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they had a lot of absences. People that didn't play in the Super Bowl due to injury. And I think that was the difference, right? They just couldn't block Tampa Bay, right? The defensive line was just putting so much pressure on Mahomes. He was never comfortable. They couldn't run the ball either, the Chiefs, and that was something that I think they wanted to do against the Buccaneers. They never got it going. And it was just a really one-sided game, right? I mean, it was the Chiefs jumped out ahead early, but then later the Buccaneers really just took over the game, and then also the penalties, right? I mean, that was a big first half. I mean, in the end, it didn't really mean anything, the penalties, because it was a blowout. But I really think this was one of the most poorly officiated games in Super Bowl history, in my opinion.
Mike, so um, I want to get to the penalties because I was talking about when this is a big thing that we was
Yeah.
talking about. I want to get to that, but I want to ask you something. Um, when after each team wins the championship game for AFC and NFC, you have 2 weeks. And before Super Bowl, it's your last game of the year. You want those 2 weeks to go as smoothly as possible, right? When you say smooth as possible, right?
Yeah, as smooth as
So,
possible. Yeah.
so for the Chiefs, it did not, Mike. Because you don't want no distractions. You guys hear about Super Bowl Media Week. They had that this year, but they still had distractions. Unfortunately, with Andy Reid's son with the car
Yeah.
accident, um, and then to your point of the offensive line, they had to put in a new left tackle, move the left tackle to right tackle, and then move their right tackle to right guard. So they had three new different positions on the offensive line. That created something new. They had to do that all in a week and a half span or so, because of course they got to leave Saturday night now, so you get probably 2 weeks, but they gave them some days off, so we say like a week and a half. So I do want to mention that for the Chiefs, it was not a perfect 2 weeks before everything. So I just wanted to mention that. But yeah, to your penalties, to your the flag at the penalties point, I'm with you, Mike. You gotta let them play. We were talking about this. You gotta let them play.
Yeah, you gotta let him play. And I think also, remember there was like a lot of like that big call, I think, on the offside, right? Remember on the field goal attempt, that was a very questionable call that really probably changed the game, right? Because the Buccaneers were going to kick a field goal, and they end up getting an extra possession and, well, an extra down, right? And then they end up, of course, getting that touchdown. So that was a big call. And then also the pass interference call, if I'm not mistaken, early in the first half, there was just, I didn't see anything, and it was, I don't know. I think the whole game just changed after that, and it was never the same. The Chiefs never recovered.
Because all year, Mike, It was Tony Romo and Jim Nantz, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on CBS.
yeah, on a CBS call, they were talking about how the Chiefs play all year. They play physical. Sometimes they hold. I mean, but they play physical. You're not supposed to call it every single play. Um, and Mike, it was that one on it was on it was on the left corner, number 21. We were texting. That was not a hold. He was bumping him. I mean, he's barely touching him, and they called a
Yeah.
holding. The Tyrann Mathieu penalty.
Yeah, the unsportsmanlike conduct that probably should have been for Tom Brady as well, right? It should have been pretty much both guys should have got something. They were both pretty much yelling at each other in their face, pretty much.
Mike, I had someone text me and say, "Wow, so Tom Brady can't get a penalty. So like, Tom Brady is the golden child. Like, so he can never
Yeah.
like when he. So like, it got to be both ways, Mike."
Yeah, I mean that was, and it's unfortunate that, of course, in the Super Bowl we see this. I think the playoffs, if you think about it, we've had controversy in the playoff games, like championship games. I remember when the Rams and Saints played, and then the Packers and Cowboys a few years ago. And this year the playoffs were pretty good, right? I mean the refereeing was pretty solid, but it just Super Bowl it was just like it all went back to the same thing. The NFL just messes up in the big games. And I think they really have to fix this because it seems like every year we have games that are just tainted by refereeing in the biggest moments.
Mike, so let me ask you this. I'm not a I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I want to say that.
I am with some. I
So,
do believe some. Yeah.
so but no, but I see when stuff happens. I'm saying I'm not a conspiracy, but I see, of course, when fouls happen in the NBA or this and that. But I just want to say I'm not fully. But so let me ask you this though. Um, do you think they're calling all these penalties and whatnot because of Tom Brady giving him the benefit of the doubt? Oh, he can't miss that pass because remember that one Mike Evans down the
Yeah.
field on the left hand side, that ball was not going to be
Yeah. It
catchable.
wasn't
Like,
catchable.
but they called it penalty. So do you think
Yeah.
that Tom Brady factor plays?
Well, I think the Tom Brady factor, and I just think, unfortunately, I don't really know how bad this how far the the actual corruption is in the refereeing, right? I mean, we don't know how involved Vegas is with these calls, or who knows, right? Because I looked like the whole game Tampa Bay was just getting everything right. It looked like somebody wanted Tampa Bay to win, and that was it.
Mike say somebody.
Somebody, yeah, because like it just looked like the whole first half, right? They just pretty much didn't let the Chiefs do anything, right, on defense. I mean, they were
For
just getting
24 minutes?
penalties and penalties, and it just helped the Buccaneers pretty much take a lead, and the Chiefs never came back after that.
No, I'm with you for 24 minutes, Mike. It looked bad for the Chiefs. Like they couldn't touch him.
Yeah,
And then the second half, they start calling penalties the other way. But you trying to tell me the whole first half it was no
it was
penalties on
too
the Buck?
late the second half, right? I
Like,
mean, it was already too late. And I don't know. I just think the refereeing in the NFL really needs to be investigated, in my opinion. I think in all sports, to be honest, because I see it in all sports. I see games that are just officiated all one way, and you're just like, it's like it looks like it's fixed sometimes, right? And that's obviously some, like we've had situations in the past where it looks like that, and it doesn't look good at all on the sport.
and then remember the NBA referee who got
Yeah,
caught
Tim
and got
Donaghy, of
sent to jail.
course, got caught, really involved in that. And I don't know. I always thought there was more referees like him. The NBA kind of tried to cover it all up and say he was the only one, which was obviously the best way to go, right? Because if it was found out that it was like all widespread, I don't know if they would have been able to really live that down.
Nah, I'm with you. I'll I'll, I'll say this to leave it off. The referees, they have regular lives too, so they're outside in the world. People
Yeah.
can come up to them. They see them on TV. They can offer them this, offer them that. So who knows?
Yeah, and then the referees are not paid. They get paid well, but they're not getting paid what the players make. That's for sure, right? I mean, the players are. It's really hard to probably get to a player. I mean, it does happen, but it's not the same like a ref, right? Because referees can get, I think, easily persuaded with money. Unfortunately.
Yes, they can. And now let me ask you this, Mike. Talk a little bit about the Bucks. what did you see from them? Like, Tom, did you see their defense, offense? Like, what did carry them other than, of
Well,
course?
I think the defense. I think the defense carried them. I think they shut the Chiefs down. The Chiefs had probably the best offense in the NFL all season, right? So they held them to just no touchdowns, right? 3 field goals. So that was the difference. The defense
That's a
was,
shocker. That's a
yeah. I mean, think about it. They didn't score a touchdown in 60 minutes. When was the last time the Chiefs didn't score a touchdown in a game? I mean, I don't think it ever happened with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think it ever happened with Patrick Mahomes as quarterback. And I think the defense wanted for them. I know Tom Brady got the MVP, but we know why that happened. But
yeah.
I think for me the defense was the reason why they won the Super Bowl.
Mike, I'm with you 100%. If I would have went to Vegas and bet it, if I would have did it on DraftKings, if I would have did it on what's the other one, Mike, FanDuel or something, I think.
FanDuel, yeah, that's the two
Um,
big ones. Yeah,
I would have put millions of dollars on Tom Brady winning the Super Bowl MVP if the Buccaneers would have won.
yeah,
That's what. Now that is one thing that I would say is sort of rigged. How quarterbacks most of the time, but yeah, we're not talking about that on this show. But yeah, so I'm with you. It was a defense, as I mentioned earlier. Todd Bowles, definitely next year should definitely get a head coaching look after, of course, when the season is up. And yeah, they carried him. And Dominic Sue, uh, who was with the Rams, didn't get the Super Bowl
yeah,
2 years ago. With the Bucks now got a Super Bowl. Some other good players, Shaq Barrett on that team and whatnot. So
yeah. Dominican Sue really played well in the Super Bowl. I know he had tough playoffs, tough season, but he really stepped up in the Super Bowl and played a great game.
and I'm also happy for Mike Evans. I'm a big Mike Evans fan, so the wide receiver.
Yeah,
Antonio Brown got his Super Bowl ring, and hey, Tom Brady got number 7. You
yeah, and
think
then of course
he's
now looking, yeah, number 7. What is it?
one more question, Mike? You think he's coming back next year?
Oh yeah, he'll be definitely back. Tom Brady, of course, signed a 2-year contract, so he will be back next season. I don't think he's going to let that money go. And now looking forward to next season, this Tampa Bay favored to win the Super Bowl again because they're going to have a few draft picks in the first round. They're probably going to get better. Might draft some players. What do you think? You think Tampa Bay can actually go and win it all next year?
Mike, it's a rumor about J.J. Watt.
Yeah, he might go to Tampa Bay as well. Yeah.
Um, so let's both of us, Mike, because of course you'll give your pick after me, but let's both of us take out the Rams because I'm saying the Rams. The Rams win the Super Bowl next year. but
In LA, yeah, that would be awesome, huh? Here in Inglewood, yeah.
let's both us take out the Rams, since we don't want to be super biased, but I'm a, nah, I wouldn't have the Bucks as a favorite, Mike. Because Mike, I think this sooner or later, Tom Brady arm has to get tired. Like he's 40, he's gonna be 44. And sooner or later, Mike, it has to get. So I'm gonna go with some other team. I'm not for sure, but yeah, as of yet, but Mike, they can't. I mean, he has to stop soon, Mike. Don't you think?
Yeah, I know, but see, the thing is, like, remember a few years ago when like Peyton Manning was at the end of his career and they still won a Super Bowl, right? Because that defense was just so good. I just wonder if the Tampa Bay defense stays at this level, it's going to be really hard. Even if Tom Brady has an average season, average to bad season, it's going to be hard for somebody to take this team down because the defense is just that good. It's probably the best in the NFL right now.
That's a good point. Like I said, I'm a big Todd Bowles fan, the defensive coordinator of the Bucks. If they get J.J. Watt, that'll help out their pass rush.
Yeah, think about it. Yeah. And
Yeah,
JJ Watt, of course, has never been on a good team, and he wants to win a Super Bowl. So, I mean, I would not be surprised. I mean, I would love the Rams to get JJ Watt, but I don't know if they can afford him. But I could see him going to Tampa Bay too.
so yeah, I'm not for sure. I hope not, but
Yeah.
think that they are.
What
If not the Rams, if not the Rams.
if not the Rams, I think he's going to Tampa Bay, or he could go to
No.
yes.
I mean, who's your Super Bowl pick? If not the
Oh,
Rams.
Super Bowl pick. If yeah, I'm obviously gonna go with the Rams, but I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think they could repeat. I think they can make it out of the NFC. They just have the best defense. I know the Packers are gonna try to come back next season. They were really good this year, but I really think that the Buccaneers just have a better. They usually when a defense is really good, like as a team, it's easier for them to kind of like bounce back and of course repeat that again, right? And do it back to back years. It's usually harder for offenses to do that, right? I mean, we saw the Chiefs; they were like unstoppable last year, but of course this year in the Super Bowl they weren't able to do it, right? So it's always harder, I think, for the offense to do it back to back years.
Mike, no team hasn't repeated since 0304. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I know. Since the Patriots, yeah, I mean, I really I see. I remember at the beginning of the season, I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl again. So I really thought they were going to be able to do it again. Because of the pandemic, they got close one game, but I really thought they could do it. But yeah, I'm going to pick Tampa Bay right now. Early Super Bowl pick. I think they could win it again. In the NFC, I think the NFC is just really just two teams in my opinion, right? I really think it's Tampa Bay and the Rams who are at the top. I know the Packers are good too, but I think those two teams have the best defense. Those two defenses are the best. And if they stay healthy and, Matthew Stafford ends up being the quarterback that the Rams want him to be, they're going to be probably 1-2 next year in the NFC
Mike, and we're not saying this because we're Rams fans. The Rams are really good on
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 defense.
their that defense can lead you as we see.
Yeah.
We already know the offense. If we just didn't turn the ball over with Jared Goff, who knows? So now, like you said, hopefully Matthew Stafford steps up, plays.
Stays healthy. Yeah.
The other day, Mike, maybe I can get your opinion on this. They were saying on NFL Live, Dan Orlovsky, Matthew Stafford is a top 7 quarterback in the league. And I was thinking maybe he is he is a good talent. I was thinking maybe top 10, but he was saying top 7. So who knows? Matthew Stafford could lead the Rams to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little concerned with Stafford and his age. That's the only thing I think it worries me. I think 33 years old. I always think there's always that risk for injury, and that's the only thing that kind of worries me, right? Because Tom Brady's 43, right? But I mean, he's like an outlier. Usually, guys when they get up to this age, they usually tend to get hurt or they slow down. And that's the only that would be my only concern with Matthew Stafford, and that's why I wouldn't have done the trade, right? Because I thought it was too much of a risk to bring in somebody that's at the back end of their career. But if he stays healthy and somehow picks the team up and really leads the team, right? Because the Rams are he's gonna have to lead the offense, right? He's a quarterback, and I guess Jared Goff was a leader on that offense. I mean, a lot of players really respected him, and now Matthew Stafford's gonna have to win that respect.
And he does have a history of injuries, so you're right.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's gonna wrap it up, of course, for our NFL segments for this season, right? Because no more football for a long time until the Hall of Fame game. Well, I mean, most people don't really care about that, but
I mean, we got a couple of things. We got a combine. It's gonna be virtual coming up.
yeah,
Free
they have
agency a
they
little
have the free agency. We have the NFL draft. The Trevor Lawrence situation. We'll see if he ends up going to the Jaguars. But yeah, it's going to be a long off season as usual. And man, I just really hope that when the NFL season comes back in September, that things are a lot better because this year was really tough, and I just don't want to see like half empty stadiums again. That's just the worst, in my opinion, in the NFL.
Mike, I couldn't have said it better. As we all know, 2020 was bad. Too many COVID and deaths, infections. Praying for everyone who went through it. Hopefully, no one else. I know vaccines coming out and whatnot. Because yeah, we got to get back to some normality, and we got to get to these stadiums, basketball, football, hockey. Mike took me to my first hockey game ever. Soccer,
Yeah,
MLS,
MLS. Yep.
um,
Yeah.
college, college sports, everything. So yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully.
so we'll see how that goes when September comes around, when the season comes back. So I want to thank everybody for watching our video. Make sure you like and subscribe to our page. Thanks for watching, everybody.